Today we are taking a look at the NECA Predator Concrete Jungle Deluxe Stoneheart Predator, and as you can probably tell by the box, this is going to be a massive figure. So we'll take a look at the art on the front of the box here. So you've got the Stoneheart Predator there facing off against 3 xenomorphs, which looks very cool. Looks like this is in a sort of lab setting. On the side of the box you've got the Predator Concrete Jungle logo, the name of the figure there, and on the back of the box here you've got a bit of information on the Predator, as well as some images of the figure itself, which looks very cool. So just get this opened up so you can take a quick look at the figure. Here on the left you have a nice image of the Predator, and here we have the figure itself, which looks very cool. And I love that NECA added some nice little details here on the box, so if you've actually played Predator Concrete Jungle, these little bits will look familiar to you. So you've got the weapon there, which is a plasma caster, wrist blades, you've got 2 medikits, you've got a little mini map. Down at the bottom you have your health bar and your energy level, which is very cool. Some nice little details there. So we'll get this one opened up and have a closer look at the figure. So inside the box you do actually get this little church background, which is actually where you fight Stoneheart in the game. Well, essentially fighting for the second time. I think that's a very cool detail added by NECA. So if you've played Predator Concrete Jungle or seen any gameplay of the Stoneheart fight, you'll know that he doesn't actually use any weapons. He only uses his fists to attack you. And in terms of accessories here, what we have is, I would say, pretty true to the character. You know, we don't see him with any other weapons apart from his fists. So we'll take a look at the accessories that we do have here. So we have these 4 blades that fit onto his gauntlet. They're all pretty much the same, or they all are exactly the same. It's nice silver colour. And we do have some extra hands. Which do have these blades on top. And then we got these 2 mandible pieces. Nice amount of detail on the inside here. Looks very flesh-like, and you've got the veins running through there. Very nice. Now we'll take a look at Stoneheart. And here we have Stoneheart. And as you can see, this is a massive predator with loads of cool augmentations. Got all this tubing running on the back. These fans. All these bits that run in through his body. Very cool design. So we'll take a closer look at the head of the figure here. As you can see, we do have some augmentations done to his head here. Just looks like he's got some sort of neural implants running across his head there with some tubing. and his dreadlocks have all been cut off, which I think they're sensory organs. In terms of articulation, the head can move left and all the way around almost. Looks like it is blocked by that tubing. No, you can get it all the way around. You can look up a little bit. Oop. Don't want to pop out the mandible there. You can look up. Just be careful of the mandibles there. Just pop this one back. You can look down a little bit there. Got some decent range. See, no articulation in the neck. You do have a decent amount of range in the arms. So don't want to stress it too much, it's a bit stiff. So you can get the arm up to the side there. You can raise it as well. Also, don't worry about the tubing here because it does have quite a bit of slack to it, so you can get the arm up really high without worrying about the tubing popping out. But just be careful as you're positioning it back, don't want it to catch on anything. Do have a bend at the elbow there. Don't seem to have any sort of swivel. On the upper arm, but we do on the lower arm. Of course, we do have movement on the wrist, but just be careful of these spikes here, so you can bend it. Is a little bit hindered by this gauntlet here. And then the torso can bend a little bit. Bit of movement there. Then going down to its legs, you do have a bend at the knee. You do have some articulation in the foot, looks like that's on a ratchet joint. And the leg can go out, also on a ratchet joint. That sounds very loud. So you can get out pretty far. There's nothing really hindering it. God, that sounds like it's gonna break, but it's all fine. So you can kick forward about there. I don't want to stretch it too far, don't want to break anything. Then you can kick far back. We'll have a look at some of the details on this predator because there's quite a lot going on here. Of course, looking at the head here, we do have neural implants, so you've got the two tubes running across there. And then looking on the back here, we have these massive units here with fans and all this tubing, and where it actually connects to the body, you can see there's some scarring, blood coming out from there, which makes it look very realistic. And then you've got the tubes running across here into his chest, and you've got an implant there, which I presume that's where his heart is. And you've got these tubes running across his body. So this goes from back here into his elbow. Same on the other end there. attach them. I'm guessing that's to enhance its strength and durability. And then you've got the other tube that goes into its waist. So we were lacking on some accessories with this figure, but with the character he doesn't actually have any sort of weapons apart from his fists that he uses in the game. So it was pretty cool for NECA to include those little blades that attach onto here, which we'll have a look at now. So here you can see I've attached on the blades. Doesn't matter which ones you put on what hand because they're all exactly the same. So they just slot in to there on his gauntlet. Pretty easy to get in and out. It looks very cool. I've also gone ahead and attached the second pair of mandibles we have, and we also have articulation in this jaw here as well, so you can move it down, which is pretty cool. We do have some nice detail there in the mouth. And the eyes look very well painted, facing forwards, don't have any googly eyes, doesn't look like. Now, what you think we might be lacking on accessories, you do have some cool features on this Predator. So, if we have a look at the head here, this piece actually comes off, and you do have batteries and a little switch here to activate the light up feature. There's also another light up feature on the back of the figure. So this fan piece just pops out like so. Then you've got some more batteries and another switch. Just make sure you get this piece back in the correct way. And then you've got this very cool light up effect. I love when NECA include things like this where we have these light up effects. Really helps the figure stand out. We'll now compare Stoneheart to some other figures. Here we have Stoneheart next to the NECA Armoured Assassin Predator here. And as you can probably tell, the parts of the body from the Assassin Predator were used on the Stoneheart Predator here. So I think the legs look very similar, and I think the lower part of the torso also looks a bit similar, but there are some tweaks and changes on the sculpt for Stoneheart, because overall I think he's a more bulky Predator as we see in the game. But these two side by side, I think they're about the same sort of height. Stoneheart's maybe a little bit bigger. And for this review, of course, I did have to bring out my Scarface Predator to go along with Stoneheart here. And you can see the size difference between these two. Here we'll bring in Greyback, which I think he's slightly smaller than Scarface. And for one last comparison, we have Big Chap here. And you can see how massive this Predator actually is compared to a Xenomorph here. Overall, I do think this is a great figure of Stoneheart. I love the details on this figure, and it's quite rare that NECA give us such large Predator figures. Accessory wise, obviously we don't really get that much along with the Predator as we do with other more standard releases, but that fits in with the character. As we see him in the game, he doesn't have any weapons apart from his fists. So it was quite good for NECA to include these blades that he has on his arms here. I think that's a really cool addition and really makes the figure look a lot more menacing. And the light up feature on any predator is always a standout for me. I love when NECA include this with their predators. It just looks very cool and helps the figure stand out. And it is true to what we see of Stoneheart in the game. These parts on his body do emit light, so it is very accurate to how we see him depicted in the game. Don't really have anything negative to say about this figure. I do think it's great, but if I had to nitpick, maybe could be a little bit more bulky. From what I remember, Stoneheart in the game, he was very, very bulky. I think a lot, not a lot, maybe a little bit more bulky than this figure. But I do really like what NECA have given us here with this Stoneheart Predator. I think it is overall a very good figure. It has been a very long time since NECA released any Predators from Concrete Jungle. We did have Scarface, which was released a very, very long time ago. Do remember enjoying the game when I played it many years ago. There's no other Predator game like it, or not that I know of anyway. But it would be cool if we get another Concrete Jungle game. That'll be very cool. But other figures that I'd like to see from Concrete Jungle would definitely be Long Spear and Swift Knife, the other two Bad Blood Predators. It would be nice to have these to go along with Stoneheart that we have here. One figure that I would really like to see is a re-release of Scarface, but with the Dark Blade clan armor, which is I think everyone's favorite armor piece from that game. If you're not sure what that looks like, I would recommend looking it up. It is very cool. Hopefully, we will get that from NECA at some point. And also, I would like to see Wolf from Alien vs Predator Requiem. That'd be another cool figure. Overall, I would definitely recommend picking up this figure. It is a awesome figure to have. Thanks for watching.